Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. This is going to be for the next 10 days. It is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. If this one doesn't resonate, definitely check out those other placements. It is a general reading, so it may not resonate for everyone who watches. So we're going to get into your current energy, the near future, what you don't see coming, and then what Spirit wants you to focus on. And then we will clarify that, get some oracle cards, and all that good stuff. Anyway, sorry, I'm changing glasses. So if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you guys for all of your support. If you're new, welcome. I do hope if you enjoy the messages, you'll consider subscribing. And if you would like a personal reading, that info is in the description box below or the About section of my channel. All right, so let's get cooking and see what's going on for you. So again, just a little reminder, when you click into a next 10 days, it doesn't matter when. So don't worry about the date that I posted it. Just know that it, they're timeless readings. They get to you when they're meant to. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have the Pluto and, I can't get it out. Pluto energy is the theme. So there's a lot of transformation. We know what that means. I don't think they have anything else that they want to explain about that. We've been through the Pluto cycle. We know what it's in now. And we also know that it's going to affect you because you're a fixed sign. And whatever area of your life that Aquarius sits in. So whatever house it sits in, if you know your chart. All right, so let's see what's transforming over this next 10 days. What do we have with tarot? Okay, so your overall energy is the 10 of Cups. So that just means it's something around family, something around your relationship, which is really nice. Okay, I'm going to spit out exactly what I hear. It is not going to apply to everybody. You could be deciding that you want to either expand your family, and that can mean a couple of different things. So either you want to have children and expand the family, or you want to start sharing space with someone that you love, a partner. And this could also just mean that there is a sense, I want to give you several different things because they're giving it to me, that things are finally settling down around family situations, or you're just feeling at peace. I feel like you've come to peace with something, which is great. So all right, let's keep going. Sorry, I'm trying to get adjusted here. They keep taking me to the bottom of the deck. So we have the Six of Swords and the Two of Cups. It just means like you've come out of a space, or at least for this period of time, you're going to be feeling like you're finally getting out of your head. I just heard there's not going to be as much worry. So something is definitely transformed in your life that's brought a sense of, I don't want to say, peace 100%, but for sure feeling better. All right, so let's see what we've got. Of course, I shuffled and they bring it back out because they want me to see it. So yes, are you getting to a place where you're going to settle down mentally? Listen, this could also just be that you have finally come to terms with some things that have been on repeat in your mind about family and about connections, things that maybe you had absolutely no control over, or at least you felt like you didn't. You're just going to be feeling better about that. So it's not going to be getting to you as much. The noise is going to quiet around those situations. Okay, after that, we have the Ace of Cups. The realization that you have to focus on yourself first, because you can't take care of anybody else around you, the people you love, or anything in your life if you don't take care of you first. And that's what's most important. They're like, with this settling down of your mind, it gives you the ability to actually I don't think redesire is a word, but that's how they're trying to come out with it. God, why can't I talk with you today? Are you having trouble where your mind is working quicker than your mouth can get it out? Because that may be related to someone. I feel like there's just so much going on in the head that you can't get it. Like you have no way to really release it. Anyway, let's get back to the point. The point is the Ace of Cups is saying that, yes, you need to fill into yourself. But sometimes we don't take, even though we do things for ourselves, we don't take the true time to just be, because our energy is always going regardless. Like for females, even if you're doing things like getting massages or getting your nails and hair done, those things can be just as stressful as anything else. Like truly pouring into yourself is like, when I'm doing this particular thing, nothing else is on my mind. I completely shut out the world. For some people, it's cooking. For some people, it's crafting. It's things like that. That's what I'm getting at. Like taking the time to do something like that, even for a small amount of time in your week, regardless of how busy you are or how quick your brain goes, is what's most important. That's what's truly going to bring you peace. Because when you come out of that, when you say you've taken a half an hour and you've just shut everything out, there's a sense of, wow, okay, I disconnected from all those constant thoughts. All right, so let's keep going. Judgment. There's something that you need to be doing on your own, and not saying that the universe, God, whatever you believe in, that there isn't help there. I just feel like there's already been a decision made about something, and the help has already been provided, the guidance was already provided, and there really isn't any further looking into this situation. And I'm going to say it's connected to family relationships or people that felt like family, probably connections that you felt like should have looked a certain way, and now they don't, and you need to release them. Okay. All right, let's keep going and see what your near future. Queen of Swords getting really clear, which is great. The Three of Cups is in reverse, and then we have the Nine of Pentacles. I think you're getting really clear about where you want to put your energy and who you want to spend those happy times with. So the Three of Cups in reverse just tells me like there's certain things, like certain people that you don't want to invite in. When you have wins in your life, you don't necessarily want to celebrate them with everyone. And there are certain people that don't respect your boundaries and don't, say, oh, yeah, that's great. Some will be more critical of the time that you take for yourself, or they just don't have an understanding. And I think you're getting very clear about that. You're realizing like my peace of mind is more important, and being truthful, not just to other people, but to yourself is what matters. And you don't have to share that with somebody else. Not everybody is going to celebrate your wins. And the Nine of Pentacles is a place of being much more settled and stable. And who cares what other people are doing? It hurts when people we love don't support us, or they aren't there to see those things that we'd hoped that they'd want to see us win at. But in this case, I think you're just this feels, with the swords, we're in the mind, right? So we're not overly emotional about it. And that's what I feel like. Not that you're not an emotional person or being. I just think you've made a choice. And what matters is, again, it's your peace. All right, so let's keep going and see what you don't see coming. So the six, okay. They're being really clear about this, because the Six of Cups is putting something behind you that's from your past. So you may be finally deciding energetically, not that you have had or needed to have contact over a period of time. This is just energy that you're releasing. So if you've decided to cut this off, or just put your experiences behind you in a way that's like, I don't forget the things that I've been through in my life, I just don't carry them with me the same way, because this is a heavy burden to carry. Energy, thoughts, things that you feel, the idea or expectations that you had, that can be a really heavy weight, and it weighs on you in every aspect of your life. The choices that you make, you don't realize it. And I feel like you're just finally freeing yourself of that energy and saying, you know what, I just don't want to carry this with me, not into this new cycle that I'm going to be experiencing, which is great, because that was the whole point of it. It was to get you to a place where you said, you know what, my past is my past. I've carried a lot, and I don't want to do it anymore. So you're finally going to be putting some of that weight down. Five of Cups, is it going to be sad? Sure. There's going to be times when you look at some of the experiences and you're going to mourn some of the people that you've lost. And I don't mean to passing away. Mourning the living is harder than mourning the ones that have crossed over sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. And I feel like a part of you is, you understand what's behind you. You understand that there is this bridge that's going to get you to the other side. But there's nothing worse than shoving your feelings down and not actually feeling what you need to feel. And I think in this moment, feeling through it is going to allow you to release it that much better, because you just look at it and you go, it's there. I know that there's more available to me behind me. I know what I still have intact, and I know that there's a lot of things in the future that I can look forward to. And that's what you don't see coming. So you might be dealing with some emotions around this over the next couple of weeks, especially through these two eclipses. No doubt they are the most intense moon cycles, and you can just find where that falls in your chart and what area of your life it's going to affect the most. It's not always absolute. You're going to know what things you're working through. But again, that's what you don't see coming, is that you're going to be processing those emotions. So what does Spirit want you to focus on? All the other beautiful things that are out there, So this can be described as confusion because there's so many different options. I think it's so many different options, and that's wonderful. So you may find yourself in a place, Spirit wants you to focus on all the different amazing things that are going to start popping up. When we're so deep in the thoughts of the things that we've experienced up to this point, it can be really hard to appreciate those little things. Even when we want to so desperately, we still have sort of that feeling of dread. But that's what they're wanting you to focus on, is all the little beautiful things that are being brought to you. I'm going to jump to the side for a second and say, they're telling me there's somebody in your work environment. Doesn't matter if you work for yourself or you work for other people. I feel like people are seeing the things that you're doing. You may get word that other people have been discussing your work, but it feels very positive. So just know that if you've questioned anything that's been going on or how people feel, I wouldn't worry about it. There's a lot of praise I'm hearing that's happening. There could also be a lot of new, how do I want to express this? There could just be a lot of different things popping up in your work. So you could find yourself going in different directions. Like you're dealing with things that you prefer to do versus things that feel like heavy and difficult. All right, let's look under that 9 of Cups. Yeah, see, this is great because this tells me that there's something coming along. Maybe you'll have opportunities in work to do things that you prefer and you enjoy. And these people are 100% supportive of that. And that's what helps fulfill you. So just know, speak your mind. Like if you haven't spoken up, if you do have people that you work under, or just in general, expressing yourself in your work environment, because I think what you're going to be doing, and it could just be starting right now. You could find this eclipse season really opens up some new doors and you start going, wow, I like this. This feels like me. Like I feel more fulfilled doing the work that I'm doing now versus what I was doing before. Okay, so the challenge, we have the Page of Cups. People who offer very little, I think, is a challenge for you. And also sometimes feeling like, how do I put this? It's really hard to go back and feel the kind of joy that we felt as children when we had so many less burdens. I think a part of you wants to have that kind of childlike nature again, but it's also, there's two things I'm picking up from it. It's also people who just don't bring a lot to your relationships, and I think you'll start recognizing that. And that could be what you're releasing right now, and you're seeing this and saying, I have to mourn this relationship because it's just not, I don't want to call it serving. I just want to call it just doesn't feel the way it used to feel. So the challenge may be that, people who just don't offer up a lot. They give a little, but they don't meet you at the same level that you are as far as how you treat your relationships. Okay, let's see the transformation with Pluto. I like this because this coming out right now says that, yes, it's going to happen in a very condensed period of time from one eclipse to the other. And yes, that's more than 10 days, but I'm days out from the first one, and I think the next one is on the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. So just remember that I'm saying that, and, focus on the things that we're bringing up that are coming up for you between the two. Okay, the Strength card. So if you have been feeling a little bit worn out, I think that's going to be restored because that's transforming as well. So they're just saying, and then the 10 of Pentacles. Great. So whatever hard work you've been putting in, whatever had been feeling overwhelming, right now they're telling me you have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. It doesn't get much better than that. It means that your finances are going to start looking different. You might, listen, I try to explain this in every reading. It isn't necessarily that there's going to be more money. It's energetically, I'm not saying that there isn't, because there's always an opportunity for that, but it's how you feel about what you have. Are you feeling finally that you're okay and you're trusting? Because that's the whole point of this Pluto and Aquarius and the age of Aquarius, is for us to trust that we're always going to be provided for. We just went out and did things in the patriarchal system because we were told this is the way you do it and this is how you receive. Now we're having to trust in a different way. Blind trust, because so many people work for themselves, and it's just a different energy. My point is, are you going to have more? Probably, but it's how you feel about money in general. You could have $1 million and still feel poor. So that's what I think is shifting. It's like, wow, I really do have enough. Everything is okay. right, so the Ten of Cups. So something that had hurt you in the past is no longer going to be present. And remember, I said it could be connected to a change in how you feel and a releasing of some problems that may have been connected to family or people that were close to you that were like family. So I'm going to leave that in reverse and putting it sideways because it's going to crowd the cards. All right, so the Six of Swords with the Ace of Cups. The Three of Cups twice now has come out in reverse. So this is like, I don't want to go out and necessarily be with or celebrate with other people. I'm spending a little bit more time on my own and filling my own cup because I realize that's what's going to bring me the most peace. And then we have the Four of Swords. Great, because this is another indication that you're taking that time to process things, to work through whatever you need to work through, and recognizing too that it isn't just what the universe is coming in to help you with. You actually have to do some of this work for yourself, which I think you recognize. I don't think that's something you don't already understand. They're just like, look, we've already given you the tools. Now it's time for you to process whatever's been on your mind and work through it. So the Queen of Swords with the Three of Cups in reverse. We have the Six of Cups. See, this is a balancing out of things, right? If it were in the upright, he's giving to other people. And I think this is telling you, like, you've exhausted yourself, maybe financially as well, in giving to other people. And you're realizing, you know, sometimes you just have to cut things off. Even if people don't like it, too bad. Too bad. They're just going to have to deal with, there's a different version of me coming out, that transformation. This is a you that can be kind and generous without putting yourself in a position of feeling unstable. And the whole point is to get you back to this place where you have a shift in your energy and you're saying, okay, I feel very good about where I am. This is a feeling. It's not necessarily an external thing. And you feel really at peace and stable and good. And that's because you've made these choices to, at some point, put yourself first. I'm not saying that you've never done it. It's just a time where you need to do it again. Okay, and then the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, it's an indication that you're allowing yourself to let go of things that maybe you had held on to, especially if it's in your work environment and you thought, well, I need to be doing this because if I don't hold on to this, how else is the money going to come in? If I don't have this particular thing, am I going to feel stable? And they're saying, yes, you will. You will. You're just putting your efforts in different places. You're feeding different things in your life. Remember, I said a couple of things that you enjoy more are going to be coming in. So you could find shifts in your career happening, and the adjustment makes you feel better. Is it sad to release either people or circumstances or even changings of jobs? Yeah. But if something was being, if you were carrying such a weight that was not really for you to carry, then this change is going to happen. So there's so much around this releasing of the past and feeling like you had to carry certain things in order to be, usually it's worthy, right? We feel like we need to be worthy of the things that we're receiving. And I just think you're letting that go and mourning whatever that was that you had to let go of. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. You're not going to be working as hard as you were before. So it's going to come a little bit easier than it did in the past. Justice. Okay, so we'll call this karmic justice because there's a balancing out that's happening clearly for you, and you're going to feel it more during this period of time than you probably have in quite some time. All right, so let's look at the Seven of Cups with the Three of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords. He's got kind of a snide look on his face in this card. I usually don't love his energy, particularly when he comes out, but there's somebody there's two things. There might be somebody younger around you that, you know, isn't always the nicest person. But at the same time, I think you see people for who they are. So just be aware of that. Are there people who see your work for what it is and the good things that you're doing? And yes, but there is always that one little that you have to look out for. If it's happening in your life, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I wouldn't be worried about that because that can bring about something good too. Even though somebody can be a little bit snarky or problematic, it could also bring something good, even though, like I said, they could be challenging at moments. This could be a child energy too, that maybe you're trying to help in some way. All right, under that we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so the Nine of Cups. This is, right, feeling like this is an exciting thing to put my energy into it because it too will make money, but it could be in the baby stages. So obviously if you're starting something new, this is where it's starting. So it's starting smaller, and then you work your way up, but it's going to be much more fulfilling. All right, and then the challenge over here with the Page of Cups, we have it in reverse. And that's so funny because some of you could have a challenge with the child energy. It's like a back and forth thing. But for most of you, this is like people who are never consistent. I mean, you get the same card, but one's reversed and one's upright. So a lack of consistency is something I think you find yourself being challenged with people, which could just pop up into your awareness, and you start recognizing, I'm not going to keep putting energy into something where somebody right now in your life is going back and forth and they're just never consistent. All right, so let's get some advice. What's the advice for Taurus? Okay, Queen of Wands, own it. Like, you know who you are. You know how much power you have. This is a lot of confidence too, and feeling inspired. So there's a new version of you coming out for sure. And then the Three of Wands. This is looking out and saying, you know, I'm not limited. Yes, this is typically the one where it's you're waiting for your ships to come in. But I think in this image, in this particular deck, she's looking at like an endless possibilities out there. Like that the world is my oyster. So that's great. 2 fire. And then the Knight of Swords. So once you get the go and you're sure of what you want, now that you have the confidence to go after something, they're like, go after it. The Knight of Swords. You have the knowledge that you need. It's just a matter of running towards that goal. And then the Seven of Pentacles. And then you just have to be patient while it grows. Okay. Whatever it is, relationship, work. And then you have the Six of Swords. And remember, this is a good card, Six of Swords. It's taking you from one place and one way of thinking and doing things to feeling much more sure about what's going on. So they want you to trust that, yes, you're going to find more peace and balance in this new energy. All right, so let's get the Lovers. Oh, okay, they had one. It says, look inside yourself, examine what is causing you to feel this way. So if there is still something that feels a little bit uneasy, I think what they're trying to say is definitely look within and ask yourself, because you can't process through things unless you know exactly what is going on there. So let's say you have a relationship, whatever it may be, and there's something being triggered. The best thing to do is to look back and go, okay, where did this come from? Did it start with my parents, which is typically where it starts? Okay. If you can put together the puzzle pieces, I always say, like the bookends of situations, if you can see where it came from and where it was created to why it's happening now, then you can figure out how to process through it, work through it. Okay, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives in any relationship. I think that's more for people that are in romantic. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. That's always the case. It's never the easiest thing to do. But the more we can practice doing it, the better we feel. It isn't... Okay, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. It isn't that you need to force positivity, because we're going to have days where they're just tough. They're just tough. And you can't help that. And trying to force yourself, yes, shifting your perspective or shifting your mindset is fantastic if it shifts the energy for you. But there's also times when we feel things that we have to feel through them, even though it doesn't feel good to do it, if that makes sense. So yes, you can imagine yourself in feeling great under any circumstances. It's really up to you how you feel, but don't ever suppress your feelings. Don't ever let somebody say, oh, you've got to be toxically positive or you're never going to get the things you want. Like, yeah, just don't. Okay, so come to the edge. This is great because 9s are about, you know, right there. You're right at the edge of feeling like something's really transforming. So you could be 36, born on the 3rd, the 6th, or the 9th. And then regeneration. That's a perfect card to come out in this type of reading because it is about regeneration. So you could be 46, born on the 4th, the 6th, or the 10th. So you're going from a 9 to a 10. And then we have the never-ending story, which is also a 10. So something that had been repeating and repeating and repeating, cycles in relationships, cycles in your work life, money things, something is definitely changing, obviously. So whatever that is coming to a halt. So you could be 37, born on the 3rd, the 7th, or the 10th. And then we have another 9. Time to go. 9, this is fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen these cards come out in this order. So you could be 45, born on the 4th, the 5th, or the 9th of the month. So you've got 9, 9, and 10s in the middle. What does that signify? Like, you know the things that you need to release, whether it's some of your fears, doubts, a version of yourself that no longer works for you. Whatever that is, this is that time when you're really going to be focused on doing that. Okay, let's get your last card. Australian Animal Oracle, and see what last messages they have. I just saw 5, 5. Well, it was 2, 5, 5, 5 on the clock. So 5, 5, 5s. And listen, numbers are always going to appear around you. If that's something new to you, then it's common because they're just trying to get your attention, they being spirit. Okay, so B energy, teamwork, 33. Let's see what they have to say about that. What do we have for, if I can get to it. Here we go. Okay, so the message is B symbolizes teamwork, makes the dream work. With focus and dedication, B shows us that with the right support around us, we can achieve our goals with less stress, for sure. B asks you to work as a team member to achieve your goals and bring prosperity to all. Teamwork, abundance, and dedication. Love that. Okay, so thank you guys so much for being here. Those were your messages. Please hit that like button and leave me a comment if you would like to. And again, if you would like a personal reading, I don't know if I even said this in the beginning. Yeah, I did. If you'd like a personal reading, that info is in the description box below or the about section of my channel. I really do hope you guys have an amazing 10 days. Take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Lots of love.